early on in our career, anytime we have extra money, we would actually go out and look at houses and see how we can add value, buying properties and adding value and then turning it into more of a long-term investment.
Today, our guest is a young friend of mine, but she's super successful when I met her pre-pandemic. So I would say maybe 7 to 10 years. Who's counting? Nobody knows. Her name is Caroline Carr. Over the time of our friendship, she has evolved into doing something that is more special than her superpower when I first met her. Let's welcome Caroline Carr.
Hi, Alice. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to chat today.
Good. We love to have you, Carolyn. Carolyn, instead of the traditional reading the bio for 5 minutes, let the audience know who are you, what you do, and other things that is important. So, go.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Alice. I am Caroline Carr. I'm the founder of Maddie's Cream Bike. We are a Portland-based premium event hospitality company that specializes in handcraft ice cream sandwiches and memorable guest experiences. While the ice cream is what people see, our business is really about creating moments of joy and connections. We partner with corporations, healthcare organizations, not-for-profit venues, and private companies and hosts to really elevate their celebrations and employee appreciation experiences and conferences and gatherings in general. Yeah, before created this company, I had a long career in finance and accounting. I started out as a CPA at Grant Thornton and then moved on to PricewaterhouseCoopers. And then after I kind of reached the manager level, I kind of had a career path decision to make. Do I want to stay and make partner at these large firms or do I venture out? And I actually ended up joining Nike. And I was there for about 5 years. Great experiences. Worked super hard. And also then after that, I had another pivotal decision point to join the technology startup world, which I did. And that turned out to be just such a wonderful decision for me because at that point I realized that I wasn't very good with climbing. I wasn't very good with politics and while I love the work, I always loved the people that I work with. So I made the leap after 10 years in accounting. I kind of took the path to join technology startup and became kind of financial executive for early stage startup. And I had so much fun doing that and just had a really rewarding career. And so that kind of sums up the last 10, 15 years of my kind of tech leadership role. Throughout that time, I've met so many great people. The startup world have really inspired me. And I learned so much. When my dad passed away about 4 years ago, I really had the opportunity to take the time off and really reflect. My parents are not going to be around forever. And that really gave me a pause to really rethink everything. And Ty and I were grateful to have the opportunity. We were very late already. I was already 44, 45, and really starting to think about maybe we need to take a break in our career and really think about our family. We kind of took the chance to try to build a family and was very blessed to go through the IVF process and have a little girl, Maddie, at the age of 45. And that was really game changing. I really didn't realize what that meant until Maddie was born, but I realized how life changing this is. I decided that maybe it's time for me to take a little different path. It's a season for me to really spend time with Maddie. I feel like this few years is really precious and maybe I can try creating something different. And so that's kind of where this idea of Maddie's Cream Bite is born, doing private events and serving handcraft ice cream sandwiches at gatherings. I always love bringing people together. And I know so much about startup and the idea of failing, testing something, failing, learning, and redoing it, improving it. I don't have a ton of expectation for this. I can take this step and kind of redefine what success look like in a non-traditional sense. I have over 2 decades of experience, and I really feel like this is the time for me to do something different. And so here we are.
Oh my goodness, you're so thoughtful. You hit most of the bulletin points. One of the things that audience are always curious because this is women's $1 million conversation. What you have done and how you arrive to your million. And how long does it take to do that?
Yeah, the first million is really through just consistently investing in my career, to be honest. Both my husband and I, we graduated from U of O with our accounting degrees. And we were very fortunate because when we first graduated, that was at the time when the accounting industry was really blooming. There was lots of opportunities. Yeah, we both were able to join a really good firm and kind of started building that foundation. We both made good money, I would say, coming out of college and just we worked a ton public accounting back in the day. Now I think it's very different. Back in the day, we were putting in 60, 70 hours. That was normal, especially during busy season. At Nike, I was in the office till 1 a.m. sometimes for the quarterly earnings. Breakfast, lunch, dinner was at the office. And so we put in a lot. But to kind of go back to your question, it wasn't overnight. We were making good money and we saved a lot of the money and also investing over time. And that compounding effect, Alice, is, it's huge. But yeah, I would say it's consistency, hard work, investing. And I also over time learned that growing up as immigrant family from Hong Kong, my parents really didn't have the opportunity that I have today. They both work manual labor jobs, very hardworking people. Their mentality was saving every single bit that they have. That's the mentality that I grew up with. And now I'm older, I'm learning more, and my mentality seemed to kind of go from the scarcity to the abundant, which is like focusing on growing the top line. Like you can build wealth and foundations through many different ways. Saving is one way, but also growing your top line is another way. And really being thoughtful and intentional about the choices that we make, I think also kind of help us reach that first $1 million mark.
Sure, we are very appreciative of how you share. It's really through multiple things. It's not one line, just save, but investing is important. Looking at the top line is important. The curiosity from the audience is approximately how long does it take for you to get to that level in terms of years?
Yeah, it took us about 15 years, to be honest, Alice. If I look back and think through, Ty and I make decent income as CPAs early on. And so we were able to save quite a bit of the money and always reinvesting. Both him and I have a love for real estate. And so early on in our career, anytime we have extra money, we would actually go out and look at houses and see how we can add value, buying properties and adding value and then turning it into more of a long-term investment. We didn't know a lot about the stock market. We didn't have time to study a lot. A big part of our investment thesis has been real estate, and that has really helped us because it's a long-term view, it's not a short-term. A big part of our portfolio is the residential real estate investments. And so that has helped us a lot.
That's good. I have to tell the audience that I had the pleasure actually walking into one of your property because that was a little farm slash a rental. So there's a farm behind that. There is all kind of vegetables and plants. And lately I saw videos from Ty in Instagram sharing how he saved plant and all these wonderful things where Alice, I kill everything. So cut this finger.
I'm like you. I'm more of a consumer rather than the creator in that sense. Yeah.
Yes, that makes very good partners between the two of you. Now, when you grow up, every one of us has a money story or money narrative, whether it's excited about it or scared about it, fearful about it, or I hate it. So, what was your story about money?
Yeah. I honestly, Alice, growing up, money was hard. We didn't have money. My mom and dad both grew up very poor, especially on my dad's side. They never went through any formal education. My dad actually never even went to school. He learned reading and writing on his own. He was born and raised in rural China. And when he was a teenager, he actually swam across the river and escaped to Hong Kong. Similar with my mom. My mom also's family didn't have a lot of money. It was mostly a scarcity mindset, and money was very hard to come by. My mom was very good at saving money, and it was to an extreme where I'll give you this story. Just the kitchen faucet, right? And if the water is dripping, my mom would put a bucket to catch the little drips of water so that she can repurpose the water later for cooking or for shower. That's the extent of her savings mindset. I think my parents have always visioned education was a big important piece because they really believed that they didn't get a chance to have education. So they wanted to make sure my brother and I have the opportunity to receive good education, and that will kind of set us on the right path of having stable income. So growing up, money was about security. It was about stability. It was not really about being wealthy or becoming multimillionaire or anything like that. Mom and dad was like, when you grow up, you need to go to college, you need to have a job, provide for your family. And that's kind of how we have stable life. I really appreciated that those fundamental principles because it really taught me a lot. Just build the right foundation for me to be able to be financial responsible, to have the discipline of not chasing shiny objects all the time and just be practical, right? Now I view it more like as a tool. And so, yeah, this past couple of weeks has been really tough because my mom actually has been sick and she actually got admitted to the hospital. Yeah, it's been really hard, but I'm able to spend a lot of time with her every day at the hospital, which I'm very thankful for. And that's kind of the life that I want to create. Is I want to be able to have the freedom to do things like this, to care for the ones that I love, to invest in the people that I believe, to build opportunities for others, and also give back to the community as well.
Gave me goosebumps a few times. The first time was when you talk about your mom, the bucket from a faucet. Although my mom hasn't done that, she saved the envelopes and then she would clip the stack of envelopes. That is what she used to write memo, and she write from the bottom for a list. She write from the bottom, so you always can tear off and leave the top at the clip. So until both sides are fully used, she wouldn't fold it away. The generation, probably my mom is 20 years older than your mom, but they came from scarcity moments where there was nothing and they just need to save every single bit of it. And still today, she's turning 90. Yes, she's still doing that. She has no idea that she got the funds, she can eat. So it's another conversation about decumulation to make sure you're happy. So today we want to focus on you. A while ago, you mentioned that you redefine success. So tell us a little bit about what's the definition of success today.
I honestly, Alice, I think like I mentioned before, like success before was about title, like climbing the corporate ladder. Today, success is building something that's meaningful for me and my family. And so it's giving myself the permission to do that. When I tell people I'm now selling ice cream, some people may think, oh my gosh, why would she do that? Why would she leave her professional career and do this? Feels like a step back. I don't see it that way. I'm using all the skills that I've learned, the finance background, what I know about startup, what I know about solving business problem, what I know about finding that product market fit, and really discovering how do I deliver the most value to people. I'm utilizing all that skill to build what I'm building today. But it took me 20 plus years to be able to have the courage to do this. I don't know anything about food. I didn't know how to make cookies. I have to learn how to make all that from scratch. It took 6 months to really test out with all these recipes with my good friend Tiffany back then helping me out. And I didn't even know butter needs to be room temperature for baking. So it was like once I decided that I wanted to try this thing, I went all in. I started this business about a year and a half ago, but I really been preparing it for 2 years. I really spend a lot of time on the product and figuring out I'm not pouring all of our saving into this. I'm being thoughtful. We test out the market first. See, even if I like this lifestyle, I don't know anything about the food industry. Would people take me seriously? Every single step is just giving the permission to try and learn. And I have to say, I have learned so much this past year in just doing pop-up events, doing private events, and really learning all about social media. And so success to me is really giving myself the permission to utilize my skill in a different way and continue to reinvent myself and deliver values to others.
It's a very beautiful way to weave everything you love to do into life. What I've learned from our short conversation is that every skills, every training we have can be used in the future. So there is no waste learning time. The fact that we are changing the title of who I am, CFO to entrepreneur, is not like we drop everything we have learned, we carry forward to facilitate the new journey, the new chapter. So we have a question here. Why is there the name that has a bike there? Does Maddie love riding the bike?
She loves the products for sure, the ice cream and the sorbets. Actually, you know what? The idea of the cream bite is not actually my original idea. I do have a big love. I'm a big fan of ice cream. My initial idea was actually doing an elevated soft serve concept. But after doing a lot of research, I was like, maybe I'm not ready for this because it takes a lot of investment because the machines are very expensive and I wanted to do it in either in a food truck or in a cart. But I came across a YouTuber named Cody Sanchez. I watch a lot of her content, and in one of her episodes, she has this lady named Catherine O'Brien on, and she's actually one of my mentors now. She started this cream bike business in Maryland over 10 years ago and had a lot of success with it. Her story really resonated with me because she also started as a office job and she was doing this on the side and seeing can I get some traction, and she was very successful with it. And so now she actually has a university teaching people how to run the bike business. Basically, the whole concept is that, yeah, rather than investing a lot of money upfront in having brick and mortar, the bike business is really a more accessible way to starting testing our concept and really seeing whether if you can get traction before you kind of go all in. When I first saw her idea, I was like, this is very interesting. I wonder if it would work in the Portland market. And I also was very skeptical at first with my finance background. But then I was like, it's not a huge investment. Maybe I can try it and see how it works. So I just lean in. I signed up for her university. I'm taking a slightly different path than what she is teaching in the program because the Portland market is very different. The Portland market wants handcraft. They want specialty. We're a foodie town. People want something unique. People want to see the creativity and something premium, right? We don't want to use any preservative, like weird stuff in our product. The business is still very young and I'm learning every day, getting feedback from my clients. The product today is very different than the product that I made 2 years ago when I first started because we've gotten a lot of feedback from people how the cookie feels. The cookie has to work with the ice cream. It's not a traditional cookie in a sense. And so that took a while to fine tune. And then also the sizing of the product. And then also I'm learning over and over again is I'm not really selling ice cream. I'm selling a moment of joy, a moment of an experience, a moment of connection. When people are at events, it's a time and place to connect with others. And just this Maddie's cream bike, the bike itself, the presentation, the product is a vehicle for them to enjoy a moment together. I just have so much satisfaction when I see people, their smiley face when they see the bike and when they enjoy the product. My clients are not the end consumer. My clients is the event planners, the hosts, right? They're already very busy. Event planners are one of the most stressful jobs on earth because everything is coming down to that day or that event, and there's so many moving parts. There's AV, there is setup, there's catering, there's thousand pieces moving. And so my goal in creating this service is really building something very easy for them. We will just show up. We don't need power. We don't need kitchen. We bring in a team. We serve the ice cream. Nobody needs to worry about it. And just building the service around making their life easy. So it's just a complete different appreciation of the whole ecosystem that I didn't know existed. I'm having fun with it, and I feel like this could really build a good role model for my daughter, Maddie, as well, and kind of giving her an opportunity to be involved when she's older. If she wants to, she may not want to. I can start teaching her basic concepts, and then also having her being around people and my team is incorporating that life into the business and business into the life and building something that works for our family.
I hear the legacy is really being a role model of your daughter, so she knows what she can do, and hopefully it expands her beyond the two of you, because who knows what she's going to come up to do.
Yeah, who knows?
As she grow up, as you see them get her taller and taller. I better see her earlier, because my height, yes, she will be surpassing me.
Oh, she will surpass me
Very
for sure.
soon. Good. Today is such a wonderful conversation with you, Caroline. Thank you for sharing not only specifically your current journey, but the whys and the foundation of who you are. We're so grateful for you, Caroline.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm just so grateful too for this opportunity to share my journey. I've been very lucky to have really many great mentors in my career. It's important that we all share our journey and we can all learn from each other.
If the audience want to find you, what do they do? How do they get to you?
Yeah, you can check out my website at www.maddiescreambike.com, or you can reach out to me just directly via email, caroline@maddiescreambike.com. Whether if you want to just chat, want to learn about my journey, or if you want to actually taste our product, yeah, I'm always happy to share.
Beautiful. Thank you so much once again, Caroline. Loving this conversation. Give us a like. It helps other ambitious women find these essential insights.